And we are live, and Milty will be joining us. We had some technical TeamSpeak difficulties, but we are live here on Winston Cup Racing Friday night. Huge field. We apologize for not getting you the start of the race here, but we're off and running here at Daytona, and you can see the field size there.
36 cars, FSB Racing, Pro Cup Racing. We got Rick Johnson on the pole, and he is in the lead. Second is 007 of Dan Jones, and third is the Hailstorm, the 20. Oh, and we got a pass for third place with that is the 55 Scott Schroyer in that spot there.
Yeah, and there's the 007 that you were speaking of. Uh, Fairly newcomer here to FSB Milty, Dan Jones in the James Bond inspired number. He's just riding in the Vaughn's car. That's our default paint. Of course, once he gets up and running, he'll probably throw some paint out there.
And
Huge
we're
field,
still,
Milty. What do we have, a 37, 36 car field or something like that?
yeah, 36 cars in practice, put times in. And we're still, like we said, we're still trying to get acclimated here, and but the
Yeah,
broadcast is running, and
yeah.
hear the sound, so we're good to go. Rick Johnson, my teammate, this guy is just an awesome uh, plate driver, and
Well, he's an awesome driver.
period, yeah.
And what four-time Pro Cup champion, Milty. Um, and he's picking up where he left off last year. And looking in that outside line, Milty, and some real nice paint. The Pontiac Trans Am, Smokey and the Bandit inspired right there, Jeff Hale.
Yeah, that's awesome,
And right behind him, your teammate, my teammate, Ed Kerstetter. Uh, Ed showing that he can win in all kinds of disciplines, Milty. Road course, short track, speedways, and the plate tracks. He's got the skills, and you can see they're lined up too wide, about 25 deep here, Milty.
Well, got to be remiss without saying the return of on Friday night of Slim Jim Gately. 4 years he's been out doing life, and as we all have experienced in our sim racing careers, and he is a master,
Yes, he is.
respected admin of this league for years,
Yeah, it's really nice.
teacher.
In my first stint here at FSB, I fondly remember the Sunday rookie classes, Milty, and you can get a lot out of those, let me tell you.
Yeah, when you're a pro racer like him, giving your information away, watching. I used to go to that class, and I was a two-time Pro Cup champion. But
Yeah, we
there was a lot to be learned there when he would get in your car. Whoa, they're getting jiggy back there.
yeah, and of course, Milty, with a field size like this, we'll talk about non-racing issues, connections, server strain with all these cars. Things can happen here, so guys got to keep mindful of that. Car might blink in front of them, might do a little wiggle, uh, and
Oh,
got to keep a
but
little space between you and the other cars at all times.
Ben Finley in the 80 is getting really close to the. Excuse me, to that wall.
Yeah,
That
and he's
burp
also
was Budweiser, the King of Beers.
getting very close to the back bumper of Slim Jim there, Milty. So Slim is he jumped right in with both feet here, Milty.
Well, he was undecided if he was going to run tonight, but he's been running the rookie truck, or excuse me, FSB truck. Like even with any returning champion or pro, when you're off a certain amount, like a year, you have to restart again. And obviously, he's looking to move up back to the pros where he belongs. But he's finding the FSB division very tough.
Oh yeah, of course, Milty. It's no long. That's an appropriate name change for FSB, changing it from the rookie division, rookie cup,
Absolutely.
rookie trucks to FSB because it's not a rookie series by any means. It is a true what you would say is what NASCAR would love to see as their Busch or whatever it's called now series. Fill in the sponsor. I ashamed that
It's,
I forget the sponsor right now, Milty, but
and speaking of our sponsor,
I'm still calling it the Bush
Stallman's
series.
Stallman's at Bear Creek. Yes, because we're all old school. Whoa, look at down
Yeah,
low,
and
down the yellow line there.
Ed has really been racy, Milty. He's worked that outside line. He shot down to the inside. It looked like it was going to be a good move. It kind of stalled out for him, and now he's shot back up into that outside line. Rick Johnson leading that inside line, but they're losing ground. This is a BP track, Milty.
Yeah, I think Rick wasn't expecting that we got a serious train on the outside early, which usually the first run, you're looking at 18 laps to pit from 16 to 18. If you want to take less fuel, the first run's going to be green, but stuff is going to happen in that pit sequence. So you want to be that outside where you can go the extra lap and
And
save fuel.
we see that outside line, Jeff Hale pulling that line. Ed tucked in right behind him the whole time, right, and 42 right behind him, and they know what time it is, Milty, and Slim Jim and now Ken Hansen moving up, along with Isaac there in the 34, and maybe Isaac thinking about that inside line now.
Mark Dillon Jr., also broadcaster from Pony Express. I think he's made a commitment to run this series this year. Look for his broadcasts also throughout the year. But I
Yeah,
think
and he's no.
Friday is going to be race night for him.
Yeah, well, I would encourage him to race because he's a great plate driver. He won the the FSB division Daytona race, and I believe he won the Chicken Run uh, or Super Speedway and Chicken Run, and he's been winning everything on the plate. So should be right in his sweet spot here, Milty.
Evening, fellas.
Hey, there's Sam Young.
Yeah, and then
What's up, man?
Slammin' Sammy joins us in the booth. What's up, Sammy?
What's up, guys? Just stopped in to say a quick hello, and man, what do you think about this, huh? 12, 13 laps, green flag, 36 cars.
Amazing. Good
It's wild.
stuff.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
Uh,
I went out of the channel. You guys know what happened there.
yeah. Well, with this big a field and the connection issues and only so many spots available, the boss said earlier in the week, guys better show up early if you want to get a spot, and we like that. We want full fields, man.
Yep,
And
yep.
like to thank also Ed Kerstetter, which in a pinch
Yeah, threw us.
allowed us to use this TeamSpeak because our TeamSpeak was jacked up. So
Yeah, otherwise we would have been hearing every third word. And now we're
oh,
getting a little racy here. Dean got down onto the apron. Uh, Looked like he had a great run there. And then also a little further up, they're getting a little racy here. And we're looking at lap 14, Milty. And now with green flag stops certainly on their
looming.
mind right now. This is a time where, and there's a little contact between the 80 and 34. And I think down to the inside line is the way to go in the next couple laps here, Milty.
Yeah, Sam. I know you're a rim rider, but you also know in this kind of plate racing, you got to start to think about getting down there at lap 15.
I'd be worried if I didn't.
Yeah, and this first green flag stop is going to be a great test of these drivers' skills, Milty, with so many cars going to have to come down pit lane, either on one or the other lap. Uh, spacing, braking points,
You
not
have to be
speeding, not
patient.
spinning. Man, I'm sure the heart is starting to beat thinking of that.
Well, you know it's going to be the LA 405 feet freeway, and you've practiced the pit with 3 or 4 cars. Now no matter which group, if you go in the first, it's probably going to be like 3 different
Yeah,
groups.
I'm thinking
Still
I
going
have
to
to
be
go.
fat.
I For me, I would have to think I'm not gonna go with the first group just because I'm not a very good pit stop person. I'd like to
Well,
have a little more space.
I
And
think they got about.
Knowing Rick Johnson, um, in the old ECR days when they dominated the Speedway Series here at FSB, he may try to pit early, like lap 16, which is
now,
now.
yeah, now we can see the
And
Congo line went down to that yellow line, and now they're gonna hug that because that's where you got to be if you want to pit. You cannot be on that outside line. And there we see
yeah, you can
quickly a
pit
glimpse of our
early,
top 10.
and then it takes you less time to get obviously 2 tires. It takes you less time to get fuel if you have more fuel in the tank. We're looking at the scanner. There's nothing yet though, so
And Milty, something of note in 35th position, 9 seconds off the lead, is your friend and mine, the 15 car of Matt Watkins. What kind of strategy is Matt Watkins brewing 9 seconds back, Milty?
he's brewing staying out of the big one, and he wants to try to get. He wants to be in the front of his line of pitting, because then he can execute that Matt Watkins pit stop of driving it in. Otherwise, it's like you got to brake early, just like on the freeway.
That's
Make
right.
sure you don't run into the other cars.
And
There's only 3, 4 lanes you can pick, but when you got 20 cars,
They got a
some
pit
guys
soon
are
here.
going.
yeah, I see
Yeah,
that
some.
inside line
Yeah,
foreman here. The Jeff
Here goes the
Hale,
chats. Here we go.
Jeff Hale leading that line. Ed right behind him.
Watkins, Rip Biscayner, the 6 of Mark DeCenza, 6'3" Monty, the Possum Boys.
As we
Yeah.
cycle through this huge field, we
and
finally see some cars peeling off here. And there is the 6 car, Mark DeCenza,
and they're all
Ken Ron.
chatting. I'm sorry.
And there's Matt Watkins came in. He really picked up a lot of time right there, and that's exactly what you were talking about,
Yeah,
Milty. He
yeah,
picked
yeah.
up a lot of time and almost got to that lead group, that 9 second.
You
Picked up
can't
about 6 or 7 there.
you can't get 20 laps, so you can't make it in 3 stops. Anyway, so it's still going to be a 4 or 5 stop race, and you got to think there's going to be a caution somewhere. So you got to play the averages
And
and
here
try
we
to
go.
get track position.
And our
right
leaders coming in along with Slim Jim. And it looks like the bulk of the field has
Oh,
stayed out, though, Milty. And Jeff and Slim and Ed, and very few
now.
cars here. So
Well,
the bulk of the field has gone on.
They're
what's
going
their
to have to come in
strategy?
next lap.
What's their strategy, Sam?
They
They're
got to come in
hoping-
next lap.
They're hoping also that these guys crash so that they get to stay out. And,
That's right. So now Ed leading this line here, Milty. Gary right behind him. Isaac and company, and this is going to be the largest group now. Pitting is the last group.
There we go.
Quite surprising. And let's take a look as we.
Well, Ed's in the catbird seat because he got the free run in, but boy,
And Doug made a nice little dive in and picked up a few
Gary
positions.
Piccolo and very skilled. That's pro sim racing right there.
Yeah,
Too
this is-
wide.
Yeah, it
Those
is.
guys, the 52 and the 69, know what to do in this race.
Yeah, they do.
Doug
And-
Kivick misses his pit stall by a whole car. He
yeah,
was in
there's
he
a
was
lot
in
of pit
Dog's
stalls
pits.
here.
He was in Dog's pit stall asking for dog burgers, and it's like, get the hell out of here, you're going to
Yeah.
get bit.
So Doug looked like he benefited by a great pit entry, but then Missing the pit stop's going to cost him what he gained there, it looks like. And here we see a little
That's
love
how you
tap
win.
there between the 42 and 28. Looked like Ed couldn't get going after he got out of his pits there. Maybe he stalled the motor for momentarily or something. And the 42 gave him like a bump start there, Milty. Take a look at that.
And then you see the cars that pit earlier, they also back to speed. They're on the high line, and
Yeah, there we see
you got
Jeff
that-
Hale and
you
company
got that
coming up
Hale
on that
guy
high
there.
line. Isaac, though, with
He's
a
only
great
like
pit
a-
stop, Milty.
Jeff Hale is probably, arguably, well, it's not really an argument. He is the best plate driver in this league. I mean, he can be beat, but if you go by averages,
yeah,
that,
Milty,
that dude's pretty badass.
Yeah, he's
But he's behind Kerstetter, who comes out late, but they
Yeah,
got a
and
pretty good stop.
and Ed really did a slingshot move right there on Isaac. Got out in front of the high line there, and now got pushed. We see some smoke there or some dirt maybe kicked up there from the grass, as
That was
everyone's
good.
trying to
Good
re-blend in here.
I'm sorry. I'm just really excited.
Oh,
Let
the
me finish,
29
Milty.
abandoned it. We got 3 wide.
3 wide. Well, we're gonna see how this all pans out there, but that was a smooth move. But I think Ed got jumbled in traffic there, and now he's gonna go back a little bit here. But
Well, it looks
Long
like
way
we
to
got
go.
a lead pack here that really has separated itself from the next group. Uh, so let's see, yeah, one more lap here and see how these all hash out. We see that
right now, Jeff Hale is your leader.
Well, where else do they do 36 cars a green flag pit stop, and we are still rocking and rolling?
yeah, and so now let's quickly, as this race progresses, we need to start talking about what the second stop is coming up, Milty. So again, 18 to 20, we saw those pit stops. So they did get to 20 laps, Milty. So that could change everything here.
Well, you got to be able to have draft buddies. Track position is huge, but we've seen green flag racing in the new FSB iRacing series. We've seen it in Pro Cup. We saw it in the Pro Truck and FSB Truck last night. Both servers, 15 trucks apiece, green flag. At
Short
Richmond,
track racing at that too, Milty. So yeah, I mean that's the hallmark of FSV, if you ask me, is green flag stops. And you hear a lot of guys who come into the league, the first thing they say is, I'm not good at green flag stops. I never have to do them.
Yep.
Well,
And
thanks
here,
for the
if
chat.
you're
Thanks
not
for the
good
chat,
at them,
guys.
you're done.
I'm gonna shoot back over and spot for those guys. I just want to stop and say hello. Good luck with the broadcast, guys. Have fun.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sammy. Appreciate you stopping on by.
Yep. Yep. Thanks, Sam.
So, Milty, now that we've got our first green flag stop out of the way, lap 25 of 80 now in the books, we see now a distinct group here of a lead pack, and then a second group, and then a third group, Milty, that starts 19th. And that's led by Mike Sanders and includes a bunch of cars all the way to 31st, and then another group of cars which is in danger now going a lap down. So a lot of stuff going on here, Milty, with so many cars.
Well, I was talking to Slim Jim last night. First time we got to talk in years, like 4 years. Without chat, texting back and forth. But he was, the first thing he kept saying was, it's just plate racing is. I'm so unlucky at plate racing. But here he is now with his protege, which he did bring along, and the original Slim Sim Gately racing team was these two guys, and guess what? They're in front.
Yeah, that's
So they are working together, and they've seen this rodeo before, and these Southern boys can get to going here. I like their chances, but it's early.
yeah, and we heard early Milty during practice that Slim Jim is in negotiations with Pinky
Well, actually,
for a little number swap there.
I started that rumor
Yeah,
only because
work
I
with
knew
me,
that
Milty. Work with me.
that well, actually, Slim did that before when he first came into the league. He negotiated with another driver to get that 23, and he's always been 23, and so we'll have to check the FSB forums to see how that goes.
And there we're taking a good look there at the 86 car, Mark Dillon Jr. and the CRC Buick, and you can see he's pushing right on the back bumper of the 28 car, and there's that Kerstetter and the Great Oaks, the 28 Oldsmobile.
Mark's gonna be thinking right here, I mean,
Doing
I've
exactly what he needs
that,
to do.
Yeah, I've survived that first stop, and now
Yep.
I'm in this, and
And
these guys are gonna feel me.
Right, and I'm sure he's already now thinking, okay, some guys got 20 laps on their first stop. I didn't. What do I need to do? Now, with, a short stop, Milty, you got to find a way to get a lap. Are you clutching a little? Are you letting off early? Or are you going to be aggressive like Mark's trying to do as he shoots to the outside line and he's got Isaac and company, Jeff Hale, Slim Jim out on the outside, I think, there, or is that Ed? And they're pushing, so this outside line on these BP tracks, Milty, will reward guys if they hang together out there.
And there's all kinds of players right here, and even the packs behind are still in it. Of course, they need a caution, but generally, if this thing stays green, it'll continue to spread out and thin out.
And you can see this side-by-side racing here, and for the lead, Milty, 42 on the inside, 86 on the outside. And you can slip a piece of paper in between them at points.
Well, a week ago, I was hoping to broadcast, but you were on vacation, so that, it was like, okay.
Little winter vacation. Oh, and there's our wreck. Oh, man.
Jim Gately I got bad luck. Oh, he's going to throw up right there.
Oh, and Isaac really took a pounding as well. You can see that roof does not look good. And we do have our first caution, Milty, so the Matt Watkins strategy is going to pay off, it looks like here.
And we, like, again, to thank Ed Kerstetter for letting us use this TeamSpeak channel to broadcast our FSB broadcast event here. And Jim Gately is gone. He's being rushed to the in-care center. And now we get back together here, and there was other cars in that. You need to show some of this carnage.
Milty, that was bad, Milty. Let's take a look at Slim Jim from the outside first. And you can see he was right in the thick of that pack. And Isaac, as you can see, a couple cars ahead of him, all looked well, Milty. So we'll have to see if there was contact or if Isaac just got a little squirrely.
As I'm watching it, let's see what happens here. Watching a little on a delay.
You can see there were some cars in danger of going a lap down as well, and bam, right into the 62 car, and wow, Slim Jim went for a really bad ride there on the roof, Milty.
Well, there it is with his bad luck. Now he's got, oh my gosh, and Isaac, the young man there, come on, son, talk to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
it from the look of it there, Milty, without, of course, ever uh, passing judgment on anyone, it looked like maybe the 29 made a little contact with him. It's hard to tell here.
it looked like the
Um,
lead car in front kind of slowed down, and Isaac was right on him, and it was just a bottleneck right there. I don't know if I can't tell which car that was in front of them, or if he just lost momentum or something. Looking at it now, it looks a little more spacing there.
let's see here, Milty.
Almost looks like Isaac hit the back of that other car, and then it got him loose, and then Hale got in the back of him. Let me watch it
Yeah,
again
looks
here.
like here. Yeah, you're right. No contact there with Jeff at all, Milty.
Yeah, I think Isaac hit the back of the
Or it
car in
looks
front of
like
him.
either he let off the gas and the car got loose there, Milty. I think he
Yeah,
was trying to
yeah,
stay off of the 86 car, and in doing so,
yeah.
lost it there and hard into the 62, who must have just,
Oh, poor
that must have
Sean.
been the shock of his racing career right there, to just get slammed into the door. And then Isaac all the way back across
Oh,
the track and just hammered by Slim Jim, who had absolutely nowhere to
nowhere to
go.
go.
And those two cars lift up into the air, and it's on. And cars scattering all
Oh,
over.
upside down. Where's my bucket? I gotta throw up.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
25 car
whoa.
just tumbling into the infield.
Grandpa, as we're calling him now, because he is a grandpa, you know. And
And
Grandpa went for a ride right there.
yeah, that was not a good wreck for a lot of drivers there, but a lot of good fortune shown on some other drivers there, Milty. So it's always a giveth and taketh away scenario.
Absolutely, it's always uh, opportunity breeds results, and that's. I mean, you got to be lucky. Last Friday night, I had 4 cars, been at least 4 that I can remember, and it may have been more, spin right in front of me, and I was able to miss all those. A couple of on skill, a couple on luck, and then it thinned the field down. The competition is so fast and equal that you got to get a break a little bit.
Well,
Obviously, if you can qualify good, that helps. But
yeah, Milty, let's have a little go through the field here since we haven't had a chance. Our current leader, with the lights are still on the pace car, we can get away with this, I think. The 42 car, Gary Piccolo, is our leader. Of course, Gary knows all about winning on plate tracks and winning on BP plate tracks. So,
mm-hmm.
and right behind him, the 86
Decent
car
pros.
avoided that incident and right where he needs to be. Second position, knows how to win on plate tracks as well, Milty. So no surprise the 1-2. Ken Hansen. Of course, we know Ken. This is his only series of the week, Milty. So he puts all his eggs in one basket, and he always comes well prepared.
One of the heavy hitters, Rick Johnson, was at P8, and now he's back behind Guy Pitra at P27. I don't know if he had issues.
As we sneak back to the third position here, there's the 80 of Ed Finley. Ed's been racy, and he's in the top 5, so it's paid off so far for him. And there's Gary's teammate, the 55 Scott Schroyer, in the Bud Select. I don't know about Bud Select, Milty. You're the Budweiser expert. I'll defer to you. I don't
Well,
know about Bud Select. Come on
yeah,
now,
well, I
Milty.
tell you,
Come
when I
on, be
was,
honest now.
well, like when money's tight, you might go with the Bud Ice, but I don't know.
Come on, Milty.
I
When's
like
the
my
last time you had a Bud
Budweiser.
Select, Milty? Yeah, that's when.
Never.
Just teasing, just teasing. It's good
That's
paint,
cold,
good
man.
paint.
That's cold.
I'm just teasing you Budweiser guys. I'm a Miller
Well,
Lite guy myself. The Blue Deuce.
well, and then you got the Bush guys, which you could get your nose broke if
Yeah,
you
well,
if you
I've learned,
talk about.
Milty. I've been racing them for about 5 years. I know better not to talk bad about Bush.
I mean, we got a
Smooth,
who's who
smooth
here.
drinking Bush beer. And there's the 28 car, excuse me, Ed Kerstetter. As we move through this field here. The '07, Ken Soska, haven't called his name out. There he is in a monster car. He's been clean, Milty, and he was in that backpack, and now he's right where he needs to be. There's the 6 car, Mark DeCenza. It's part of that first green flag group, so it's worked out good for him, too.
Speaking of Budweiser, I need to get me a couple. I'll be right back. But yeah, Ken's been running great, solid. I'd love to see Ken Soska get or Soska, however you say it, get a great finish.
And we
He
got a
deserves
green
it.
flag out,
I'll be right back.
and we'll mosey on back to our leader. And looks like we got some cars coming down pit lane. And they must be serving some penalties here. The 20, and that's Jeff Hale. Um, and the 55 of, or excuse me, 59 of Ryan Johnson. Also into the pits. There's the aforementioned Rick Johnson there back in 26th position.
Yeah,
Let's switch.
something happened with him.
Yeah, and he's kind of off the pace immediately, so maybe some damage there. Uh, 86 car also was up front, but then I think he pitted too and has fallen back. I think there's some black flags being served, Milty. I don't know. There's some. Jeff Hale had to go down the pits as the green flag came out. Uh, and there's our
Yeah,
first look at the Matt Watkins ride, the number 15, Matt Watkins. He's up to
is that an A or
P20.
a B?
I think that's B. I think that's the B car. It
He's
might
gonna
be the A
running.
car. But what we do know is it's a Nintendo ride.
We do know this guy's badass, and
Yeah.
last week, we about 4 laps to go, we got into it with each other. I pretty much cut him off. I was trying to win the race, and I knew his momentum was coming, and I did it anyway. And he tried to stay off me, but it's one of those racing deals. I did save it, but uh, then ended up crashing and dying. But it was
And
what a fun race. To race in this league is a privilege, and it's fun as hell.
yeah, we got rush hour right now as Doug takes it 3 wide going by Chet in the 68. Great move by Doug there. And we got one big pack again now, Milty.
That's Gary Piccolo, your leader. These guys are really good, and they've earned their membership, and they've raced him, Scott Schroyer, the new guys that are buddies. You know, they just really have done it the right way, and they can race to win, and they can handle it when it's not their night. So
Absolutely, yeah. They've proven that they're true professional sim drivers. Just because they show up at again, that's why I think another reason that the name change was appropriate because we got guys that are w-
seasoned veterans
yeah,
coming
well
in
underway to
and
be
having to run the
right.
FSB division.
That's right. So
Earn your wings.
yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
certainly not rookies. They're just they got their FSB drivers for the first time, and
Here
it
comes
might be a
Mark
little different.
DeSenza on the inside. Who's that
And
guy?
and Ken
Ken
hard into the
Hansen!
outside wall. And who does that take? The 69 spinning.
Pops, dog.
Matt Watkins looks like he's spinning in that too, Milty. Dean was involved. He gets going. Ken Hansen took a ride there.
Well, Hansen is right. He's going to make these races try to win another championship, you know. But right now, or it will, you know,
Oh, and
win a championship,
the
you know.
old
But
man there is smoking, Milty. You need, see if you can get on Pops' radio. Uh, you can see there's some smoke pouring out under the hood of the 99 car.
well, you know, him and Bill Yarbrough is are now, excuse me, are now Monsoon Motorsports. They got a heck of a team there with the veterans and champions, and but tonight's not going to be Pop's night.
No, but looking at the Matt Watkins car, Milty, it doesn't look too bad from my vantage point. I saw him spin, but I don't think he had any contact.
We'll have to wait and see if what he decides to run as far as if he's going to run for a championship or just make some races. Matt stepped back for a while and chilled, and he's back running. So we'll just have to see how he's. And he gets in the back of somebody under caution.
Oh my, that's
That's very un-Matt-like, and
well,
I'm sure he's going to be upset with himself there.
yeah, that looked like the '09 car, Brian Lamb, Milty. Yeah, that's very
And
on Matt Watkins like. Of course, we know that's not what he's about by any means. But let's take a look back here, Milty, real quick at the 9 car and see what
that's a
happened there to Ken Hansen. It looked like everything
yeah.
was fine, and all of a sudden he just turned right into the wall. And yeah, there was
Well,
wow.
Ken's going to get the best finish he can here, but
Wow, Milty, that's a really. Let's see if we can get a better camera on it here.
well, Ed Finley was running right up there in that pack, and whoa.
Looked
I,
like
wa-
again,
Almost
Milty
the
though.
same thing. Like he got into the car
Yes,
in front of him.
I think so, and you can see Ed on the low line there, hugged up right up onto his door there as well. So I don't know if that made Ken maybe a little uncomfortable at the same time, but you can
Or
see
you could get yourself
just a
loose
little
bumping a
contact there
car
with the
in that
28. It
corner.
looked like Milty.
We saw it in turn 4, and now we're seeing it in turn 2. If you're not pointed straight either when you get in the back of somebody, it gets you sideways too.
Yeah, you can see there the 9 drifted down oh so slightly, made just slight contact with the 28, but Milty, it shot him dead into the wall, and it was on from there. And it looked like the 108 got into him, and he took Chet along with him, and a bunch of other cars got involved there.
Yeah, Doug Tevick, Dog again. Well, no, that's the Dog.
We see Doug. There's
Trying to
Matt.
see
There's
here.
Matt there. Let's take a look back and see what happened with Matt.
That's the master at slowing up and seeing stuff.
He got hit from behind by the 060 as they slowed down, and it kind of spun him around. Then he got hit again from behind. So that was a rough wreck there, but very little damage to the 15.
We're going 190 miles an hour.
Come back live. He's showing in P21, 42 of 80 complete. Milty, so we're just past halfway, so still some time for some guys to rally here, if need be.
Well, and a lot of these guys are running the whole series, the whole season, so you got to maximize points. You realize that a race like Daytona is kind of a crapshoot. It is, but it's not. But it is what you can control. Is planning. What you can't control is the crapshoot.
Yeah, and it looks like the 69 has decided that was enough. and he did take some pounding there in that wreck there. And if you're not going to be off, if you're going to be off the pace here, Milty, you know, and you're not running for points, a lot of guys do elect to park the car, you know, instead of being out there and maybe, you know, causing a wreck later on.
Yeah, especially if you're not running the whole season. We got a lot of stuff coming up here at FSB. We got iRacing Sunday nights. We have our whole slew of stuff during the week, and we also got the 24 hours of Daytona
Yeah, Milty,
next week.
I know some guys are not interested in the road racing, but the 24 hours of Daytona on iRacing is a big deal for the entire world. Really, is going to be racing in that on iRacing, Milty, and Team
And we're
FSB, I
going to be
believe, is
there.
going to be well represented with possibly 2 teams, which is very exciting.
Yeah, you and I, we got some work to do with the rest of the team, but Larry Krupp and Doug Tevick are turning some pretty good world-class laps in
I
the
mean,
split we're probably going to be in.
yeah, and you know,
Of
Larry,
course, you got to make it for 24 hours.
Larry, watching him turn laps, you made it look so easy, Milty, and then I sit behind that same wheel in the same car because it is the team car, and I'm like, how's he do it? You know, it's just really impressive. And of course, we know Larry is our Corvette guru, and we're gonna lean on him very heavily for this 24-hour race, and I think he'll come through just fine. And Doug, just slap him in a car and he can go fast, and that's what he did. And I would see him only getting faster as the days wear on to the actual race.
Well, the guy I got to mention right now is the 80 of Ed Finley, P3. This guy's the ultimate sportsman, painter, uh, friend to the league. Uh, he's won a few races, but if he had a chance to win this race on a Friday night on the broadcast
Wow.
with all these great drivers, this would probably be the biggest win of his
Oh,
career, and
certainly.
that's a huge jinx. But
Yeah,
the reality is, for him to find himself at the halfway point, B3 is pretty impressive. He's running
absolutely.
real well,
Absolutely.
and he's a
In
great
fact,
guy.
he's now
So
up to P2. So pace car is off. 42 car has
we
been
got lap
Gary is
cars.
Yeah, Gary has been really dominant in this last segment here, Milty, and he continues to lead this pack. And let's see what Ed and Ed. It's the Ed and Ed show up front, Milty.
This stuff's thinning out now, so um, the 55 of Schroyer move over. He had track position, but obviously damage, and that's a great sportsmanship move right there. And good drivers, pro drivers know when they don't have the car to compete and get out the way.
Yeah, now we got two
Good job.
wide developing at the front. Ed trying to lead a lap here, even leading a lap in a Winston Cup race.
Come
For me, would be a
on.
great accomplishment, and especially under green flag conditions. And it looks like that outside line is pulling. Mark DeSenza pushing the 80 car there, and we're gonna have to check. And yes, that was a lap led for the 80 car there, Milty.
Oh, and also Bill Martino in the 18 P4. He's on the inside line, and it's got some beat up cars, but he's up on the front there, and that's a great run for Bill. He had some serious health problems last year, and we're all really worried
Yeah,
about him. And
nice
to
to
get
see him back here.
absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, we did a last
He's
minute
isn't
paint
he from
job as well,
Boston? I think.
so he could be represented here properly in the broadcast. And yeah, we did some file swapping real quick there, Milty. And now we can see he's got a nice paint job there, the Jim Beam ride.
Lap 46, the 80 of Ed Finley is your leader, and that's just great stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I know that feeling. Racing last week. I mean, you don't run. I've been broadcasting these races and hadn't run one in a while, and you forget how your juices get flowing. It's just really. This is intense stuff, and this there just looks like they're driving around, but these guys are sawing the wheel, boy.
Oh yeah, and sawing the pedals as well. With that draft, Milty, you can really suck up on someone real quick, and you got to get off of them in the corners. You got to make sure if you're bumping them, like you said, you're really square on the back bumper, or you can get them loose. And there's a lot going on. Not just like you said, not out for a Sunday ride right now.
Well, you see this, the inks are happening out of turn 2 and 4, so for the two, and that's from sucking up on somebody.
Yeah, that
And
tri-oval area is
yeah.
always tricky. You can get a real good run there, and the car can get light. And there we see the 99 car.
Oh boy!
Whoa! Oh! Oh!
Oh! He was so much off the pace there,
Yeah, he was,
and he
Milty.
kind of Pops kind of wiggled a little bit there. We're gonna, gosh, I hope
Uh,
that.
that bashed up some cars there, Milty. Uh,
You got to get all the way up against that wall. Saw it real quick, so we'll have to take a look at this. But
yeah, and
got to let those leaders by, boy.
yeah, and I think in the pre-race meeting there was some discussion on if cars off the pace, try to hug that in, try to not take away that preferred line, which was considered the inside line. It looked like Pops was up high, but like you said, that speed differential there might have been really significant, more so than even what you would expect.
Well, if you're gonna get high, get high. You got to get real high. But let me take a look at this before. And of course, we're only broadcasters. We don't pass judgment, or we just see what we think we see. And so let's take a look at this.
Yeah, we can see the badly
He's
damaged
pretty. He's pretty
car
high.
of Pops. He's only doing
Hey, I think they were
140
wrecking,
miles an hour.
but they were wrecking behind him. But then again, that's all he can do, and he's racing for points. Obviously, he's gonna. And also in the driver meeting, uh, it was understood that drivers are going to be beat up and have to, you know, they can run as long as they get out of the way. So
Yeah, we can see Pops was limited to looks like 140 miles an hour, Milty, and the pack is probably running about 180. So that was a pretty significant speed difference that
absolutely, yeah.
maybe some guys that were in the draft might not have been anticipating. And you can see Pops, and then you can see that huge pack of cars just bearing down on them. It looked,
You know
it,
what? Guy Pitcher got hit from behind as they came up,
yeah, and we
and
can see Pops just being overtaken. And in that overtaking, there
but
was
they had a
cars
line
came
right
together.
there.
Yeah, they did, but looked like there was a little, not enough give and take trying to get by him there.
Right.
And a couple cars, it looked like, came together door to door. Let's see if we can back that
That's
up one more
racing at
time.
190 miles an hour. And we lost some more teeth here. Guy Pitcher gone. Looks like Steve Weber heavily damaged your um, champion from last year. It's usually how it goes, but long
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah, it really looks like the cars stacked up in an effort to get around Pops. And the 83 and 23 kind of stacked up as Ed went to make a little three wide pass there of Pops going high. And Pops was up into the third lane there, Melty.
Yeah, he
So,
was.
I mean, it
But
wasn't like
he
he
was
was in the middle
he
of the
was
track
high.
or anything. Yeah, he was high. And the contact was between the 83 and the '07, and we know the outside guy always takes the brunt of that. And Steve went up, and then in the accordion effect, Guy got punted as well into the outside wall. And that collected
Dude, that
a
stuff
couple other cars like
happens
the
so
23,
fast.
303,
You're like, oh my,
86
a-
involved,
and it's
40.
and it's over.
Yeah,
You're just along for the ride, dude.
a lot of good cars got involved there, Milty. So back to live action here, and let's let's get a look at who our leaders are. That's the 6 car,
Heavy work
50
for
of 80.
F. Jerry and the Ravens car. Much like my Raiders, they're sitting on the couch watching the playoffs.
Let's recap this top 10 here, Milty, because it's been a changing with these incidents. 6 car Mark DeCenza now is our leader, 191. Mike Sanders has now made an appearance, and shout out to Mike. He's sitting in P2 right now, Milty.
Well, this is right up his alley, and opportunity brings opportunity, and you got to survive. Got to have a little bit of luck, and but all these guys know what to do when they get in the position. And Mike Sanders is, you know, he's going to be looking to make this happen. And we're talking Mr. Sin City is the
Hmm.
owner operator of Sin City. Tons of trophies. He's done a lot of stuff for the league, and
Oh,
he's
big
also
time.
a heck of a
Yeah,
racer.
lots of sponsorship, lots of winning too,
Indy
and
cars.
attracting some bigwigs of FSB with Jeff Hale coming on board for him, Milty. I mean, you can't get a bigger signing than, like you said, maybe the best plate racer in FSB.
Well, and that's right down their alley because Hale, uh, until his neck and back were messed up, he had to have surgery, and he was out of commission for sim racing. And Hale is in my opinion, the best super speedway driver I've seen over, and his record pretty much what starts and results would back that up. So, and Sin City and Mike, he's obviously going to be. He loves speedway racing, so it's a match made in sim racing heaven here.
Yeah, it is, and we see that Ed's managed to hang on to third after that incident, came out unscathed, and right behind him, the 060, Dean.
Dean
Uh,
Gotro,
yeah, Dean Gotro. Uh, he knows how to get his way around super speedways as well.
just well, he was a
Another.
member of CC Racing with Mark DeCenza. They had lots of battles. That was a pretty formidable pro sim racing league back in the day. So years of experience.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'd say his super speedway skills are right up there with the best of them, and definitely wouldn't surprise me to see him in victory circle. And there's the 80 right behind him. So Ed shuffled back a little there, Milty, but he's stayed in the top 5, stayed in the top 10, and that's what
He's
you got to
so
do if you
smart.
want to win a super speedway race. You got to hang around the front.
Well, Friday, I started 14th. Last Friday, I went to uh, like 26th or whatever, and I was just like, I can't get around this place. And he's driving, he's leading the race, and on Team Channel, he's like, okay, which corner? What's your problem in the corner? So he's trying to help me out while he's leading the race.
Yeah, that's
Pops is severely damaged, and he's getting out of the way there. The thing is,
yeah, that thing's beat up, Milty. Um,
doo, 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 doo.
that I That's taking Pops back to his youth when he's driving around in a DeSoto or something. Because that thing is beat up. Uh, but
Boy, we
right
give him
now,
a bunch of crap, don't we?
yeah, we do. We love you, Pops.
Yeah.
And Mike Sanders, though, is hungry, and he's taking that lead. And Dean is really giving him a nice push there. As we come back to the line, we'll see who leads this lap. That outside line, though, and it looks like Mark DeSenza nicked him at the line by a couple hundredths of a second. That outside line on these BP tracks, Milty, when you guys get lined up out there, it's hard to beat.
Well, especially with these bigger fields, then you get some help. You don't get guys getting scared here. They want to go.
Yeah,
That
so
one
we
gets
see.
still in 12th
Yeah,
after get going through the pinball machine there.
right, and
Uh,
he
Ryan
is.
Johnson's still on the lead lap. He was like last for quite a long ways there. He feels better now. His son came out of the in-car care center, and he's okay. So Isaac is okay. So good thing it's not real. Jim Ray sent me a video of his daughter driving this sim racing rig, and he said she was crashing into the wall. It was like a little short video on my phone, and he says, "But we're gonna be okay, honey. Why?" And she says, "Because we're not in the car and it's not real." And she's like, what, 3.5 or 4? I don't know. And it was so cute. She was sitting on his lap, and he got a big smile on his face, and then the video stopped. It was awesome.
Well, tell that to the guys when they're racing for a win. They get a little contact and hit the wall, and tell them that, Milty.
Yeah, yeah, me too, man. I mean, that's why I go on the T channel.
And we see some tight racing here in the 60 car. Got loose.
Oh, there's sideways is Gotro, and that's a double whammer
Wow,
there.
and
And Kent Saska gets on the blinders. Great job. I don't know if there was contact there, but there is a caution out.
there is a caution, but amazingly, I think only Dean was the car that took a ride.
He tapped a couple cars, and they saved it.
Let's see if he can get going. He doesn't look like he has much damage. It is realistic damage here, so any little nick, of course, on a super speedway can be detrimental. But he got it going again, and we'll see.
Boy, we're right on the edge of fuel right here.
Yeah, I would think everyone's coming in or maybe waiting until the end of this stop to come in. We'll see.
That's your decision. We're thinking about 3 or 4 laps here. It should go green at lap 60. You want to, you can go.
Yeah.
You don't have that much fuel burned off here, so you could go no tires and just fuel right now and get your butt back on the track. That's what I would do, unless I was like caught up in that caution where I smoked my tires.
Right, and looking back, Milty, it looked like yet again the high line guy getting a run on the leader and trying either to stay off of him or lifting, and just really upsetting the car when that happens. And you can see Dean just trying to stay off of Mike Sanders, got low and made contact with the inside line and just lost it ever so slightly. Ed taking evasive maneuvers there very nicely, I might add. And the rest of the field, a little contact there with, looks like Ryan.
Our sponsor, P5, into the pits. The 92's Chad Stallman. Stallman's at Bear Creek, right into a stall, very nice. We're looking at
right
no tires and fuel, just like I said. You can get back out in P5, Martino, right there. Be careful, son. Don't speed. Very nice.
And there we see Dean in his
There's going to
pits
be
getting
a
service.
mix-up
So
here, and there was some guys didn't get it right there, and there's going to be a change of the guard here on track position. It looks like it's money time. Even though it's under caution, you still got to make sure you do the best stop here. I don't
yeah,
think tires are an issue. That's why the 28 didn't take tires. No way. That this guy is smart. He's also a gambler, so he'll gamble and lose, and he'll be okay with it. He's all about trying to win the race. The 28.
yeah, and he's all about leading, and he likes if he's given the choice between being in second or first, he's always going to pick one. So this is where he wants to be, and once these cars in front of him all pit and clear out, he'll be our leader, Milty, with probably about 20 to go.
Right on the
Yeah, and if
cusp
you've been
there.
out right now, you obviously you're clutching hard and trying to save, but I don't know if it goes green in 3 laps, you would burn enough fuel that I don't know if you can get to 20, Milty. So you might see some guys diving in for topping off here too.
Well, if you're in the top 10, that's how it'd be scary. After that, it all depends on how your car is. If you need track position versus fuel, then you would hope there'd be another caution, which is the odds are with that. Then you could just stay out and clutch again and make it for sure. Gotta go with track.
Milty,
You gotta go
yeah,
with
that's a
track.
that's a
You gotta
dangerous
go.
game to play to gamble on another
Uh,
caution here late. But
the
cautions do bring
28,
cautions, Milty.
yeah, and and track position is everything still. With we're talking we're talking 23 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah,
Which by the I gotta step away for a sec. I'll be right back.
yeah, we do have 23 cars on the lead lap, 2 cars 1 lap down, and that's it. The 99 pops hanging in there 2 laps down, then everyone else is out of the race, 27 on down. Um, from obviously multiple wrecks that we've had, thinned out the field. There we see the top 20. These cars are all viable cars, though. Some of them are damaged, some of them are clean, though. And we'll see some comers and goers, I think, in this last stint if we can stay caution free. Right now, the '07 showing leading. We'll see if he dives in. The lights are still on on the pace car. 108 in second. Dog Palmer. Uh, I think stayed out here. We'll see if they both dive in to fuel up. Yes, they do.
Oh, they're going back in. Kerstetter feints and negative.
And it looks like those two, the '07 and 108, did stay out from the initial stops. So no surprise there that they would come in. They are, I would say, are definitely good to go though. So their strategy, in the
But
end, might
they're
be the
they're
winning strategy.
well, dog has damage, so
Well,
uh,
we'll see how significant that is. 55 overshooting the pits there. 59 topping up with fuel. 55, 108 all topping up. The 060 coming in, topping up. Jeff Hale topping up as well. So all these cars, back half of the lead pack here, Milty, all topping up.
I would have expected these guys to do more like Chad Stallman is, but where they and behind there where they drop down a little and try to under caution try to while they stay down low. You got to get up on the high side with one to go and let lead lap cars down. But I would try to cut. I would save every little bit right there.
And we see the lights are out now on the pace car, so everyone has made their bed now. If we stay green, Milty, uh, some cars did elect to come down, so we'll see how that pays off.
That
But
tells me the 28's not worried because
well,
he knows all this stuff. And they are clutching, so
yeah, he'll have to make it work, and we know who the master of fuel mileage is lurking in ominously in eighth place, Milty,
the legend,
and that's
Little Willie Watkins.
and if anyone can get 21 laps when everyone else gets 20, it's Matt Watkins.
You know, if John Madden was going to name
Pace
his
car
had
is
another
off.
son, he would, instead of Brett Favre, he would name him Matt Watkins.
And green flag is about to be out, and Ed's going to take it, and away we go with the 6-car Mark DeCenzo right behind him. 92, our sponsor, sitting in P3, Milty.
Come on, son. Well, Ed knows in the front he's going to have the floor down. He knows he's going to use more fuel. But it's not that serious. There goes Chad Stallman down low. And he's bringing Bill Martino with him.
Yeah, and there's Matt Watkins as well, who's now dove
Matt
from
wants to help
out
Martino,
into
but
out.
now they're side by side, so he can't.
I think he got a hard run on him there, and to avoid contact,
Yeah.
he had to shoot up there
Oh! Contact with Jeff.
with the 42 car.
42.
And now Matt side by side, and he's trying to battle for P4 there with Ed in front, Mark second, Chad third. And
Ed Finley in fifth, sixth, a solid run here. Hope is not lost right now. You got yourself this far. He's got a real shot here. These guys are just gonna go single file, Humpty Dumpty to the end. There's gonna be a race here.
yeah, they're not. And that inside line is just falling apart on Matt Watkins, and he's falling back now. And that outside line's coming on strong.
He's got plenty of time. He's a multi champion. He's going to get in line when he can, and they're going to regroup and wait and see. There they go, just like that.
And,
now they're going to wait and see where the next line develops. Okay.
that was a great battle between the 15 and 42, and Gary really showed his skill level
yeah.
there, and just kept it right on the side of Matt Watkins and got a nice draft and was able to hold him off for that position.
And you got to do that with the foot, with the gas pedal and the brake. In this game, not a lot of trail braking. It's more pretty much the gas pedal bogs the car down too hard to trail brake. So, but they're anticipating the runs and lifting.
And this second group has now caught this lead pack, and we just got a bunch of more cars involved here. So this is, again, going to scramble things up.
FSBRacing.com, Pro Sim Racing. That's best. And once again, Pops gets out the way there, and
Ken
like
Hansen
he did the last
also out of
time.
the way. And, yeah, this is heating up a little here on lap 63. Of course,
so
we're
many
going 80.
players that would really like to win, but also a solid finish here could carry you through the rest of the season here. You don't want to throw it away to try to get the win, but the second line's going to develop. Because Kerstetter gets in your head, you know. I mean, he's my teammate. He's helping me out throughout the race last week. At the end of the race, I got into P2, and I was like, that's Ed Kerstetter right there. I got a chance to beat this guy, maybe, you know. But and then I kind of lost my head a little bit, you know. I mean, you got to. I made a move that I shouldn't have made instead of being patient and following. And what's going through these guys' minds right now, along with the second-to-second changes on the gas pedal, flat out just a subtle lift, get a run. Look in your rearview mirror. What's that guy doing? Okay, now we got the inside line moving here. You're looking in the mirror. You're talking to your teammates. There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on, and I think Mark DeCenza right now is content, seeing that there's no threat on that inside line to just ride and save fuel and ensure that he's going to make it to the end, while at
But
the
when they,
same time forcing Ed to
yeah,
lead this race.
but when they come up to you and you see them on the side of your door, you're like, or right behind you, should I make that move? Oh, look, a little
Little,
contact with the dog into the wall there, but solid run from him, even though he's got a beat up piece, but he knows how to do these big monster
oh yeah,
tracks here.
yeah, he's having a pretty solid season. Had great seasons last season as well. So that inside line just
14 to go, 13 and a half.
inside line is desperate to try to get it to work, and every time it seems like it might, it falls apart.
Every
We'll
one of
see if
those
it can hold
guys on
together.
the outside are going on their team channels. They're talking to somebody, going, "It's working, it's working." Okay, they're up to Finley. So the Finley's he's committed now. Scott Schroyer, should I? Gary Piccolo. Should I go down? Should I go down?
And here we
He's the one to
go. We see
race.
some
There we go.
scrambling going on.
See, this is exactly what they're going in their minds
And
right now.
caution is out, Milty, as some cars in the back here have spun. And that's Dean and the 23 of Jim Scharf also. And then we
Yep.
see the 60 spinning around as well. So
Well,
there's the
36
caution that was
cars,
needed,
yeah.
Milty.
Well, you stay out. They're still racing back
Yeah, we're racing
for
back to
this
the
bad,
line here.
bad boy, and this Ted Stallman's looking for some help, but I think he just gave Ken Ron the get out of jail free pass there. In that situation,
He held him off for third, but I hear you.
you gotta stay down low and keep your track position. But no worries, easy to say from here.
Yeah, and that again brings some cars that maybe didn't get the best of starts to the forefront.
And the thing is, you're third or you're fourth or you're fifth. That's not that big a deal for Chad Stallman here because it's win time now. So that second line is going to develop, whether it's the high or low. What's Kerstetter going to do? See, now you see Kerstetter down on the
Yeah,
bottom.
down on the apron.
He's worried about it. That's car language right there. Get that thing on the bottom and shorten up the distance. Every single ounce is. And to be honest, I'm not really that good a fuel saver personally because I'm so scatterbrained. So I waste opportunities.
Yeah, this is going to have to be full dedication, Milty.
So I'm going to step away for just a second. It's pretty much everybody here is staying out.
Yeah, as we
Win
roll through
or
the
die.
field here. 92, as we were talking, Chad Stallman, our sponsor. Stallman's at Bear Creek, putting out the hardware for this series, and now he's in third. He'd like to win some hardware of his own that saves him a little shipping money. 303 of Ken Ron's been up and down. I know he was involved in something, spinning around once. The car looks fairly clean though, so maybe it was just a spin, no contact. Here we see the 42 Gary Piccolo, and Gary's been up at the front all night. No surprise. 18 Bill Martino's had a great run. There's Matt Watkins, who's really had an up and down adventurous night. Involved in a couple of wrecks. Car maybe got little little damage, but repairs were probably made, and now he's up in the top 10 in seventh. There's Ed in ninth, '03, excuse me, Shad Curran uh, showing in the eighth position. And right behind him, the 80 of Ed Finley, as we were talking about earlier. And then there's the 55 of Scott Schroyer. I don't know if the car has some damage, uh, but damage or not, he's running and he's in the top 10. And
No matter where Ed Finley finishes, no matter what happens to him tonight, he's going to hang his hat on a really good, solid run against the best, and he should really take that to the bank. You know, I mean, that's all you can do in sim racing or in life or anything is put yourself in the position to win. And
that's right. That's right. And the only way to do that is be there at the end. And he's there at the end. He's in the top 10. And he has a great chance to win just like anyone else in this top 10 right now, Milty.
well, everything is a hair's breadth when it comes to the difference between winning and losing in this league. And so when you see a guy run well like that, that you know has had his share of lumps, you know, and you root for him, you know.
And we see cars riding down on low on that apron.
Shad Curran is another car we haven't even mentioned tonight in the '03. Also a member of our 24-hour team and GTP racer, and you know, just a solid run for him. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he's kept the car fairly clean, hasn't put it into the wall, avoided anyone that was crashing around him, and now he's in eighth position. And again, in my opinion, anyone in the top 10 could win this race.
absolutely, they're going to have no friends unless maybe their teammates. If I was in P2 where the six is, and it was Kerstetter, I was like, I'm going to help you win this race, but that's Mark DeCinza there.
Yeah,
They ain't
Mark's
no
not going to say
teammate.
that.
Hell no.
Yeah, Mark's going to say I'm going to help you lose this race by getting around you and taking the checkers. That's all Mark's thinking about is how is he going to get around him, and if he does duck to the inside, is anyone going to go with him, or is he just going to wait and see if that inside line starts pulling, and then dive in front of that line and hope that it takes him past Ed?
So it sets up the finish here where you could have guys running out of gas, you could have another caution, and that not be an issue.
Well, we'll have
You could have
9 laps.
you could have all kinds of scenarios here. The next few laps are critical as far as because these guys are sweating it. Obviously, they're
Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you, Milty, if Ed makes this, he'd have gone like 25, 26 laps, I think, Milty.
it was around 20, I thought, but
Well,
you know.
he came in with the first wave of cars, so
Oh, okay. It
he
was
came
20
back
at the
out with like
restart. Yeah,
right, he came
yeah.
out with
You're
like
right. You're right.
22, so he's really gonna have to make this work, and that would be very impressive. Not that I doubt him for 1 second that he can do it.
It's just with 20 plus cars on the lead lap. Just crush yourself if you think about pitting when everybody else is gonna go for it too. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I
and
think you gotta,
it's so hard to calculate exactly how much fuel you save when you're under caution. I mean, these guys got it down in memory. Some guys write it down. Some guys have complete notebooks. And some guys just go off a feel. You know.
well, the lights are out on the pace car, Milty, so we're gonna find out whether anyone has calculated incorrectly.
Well, if a dude runs out of gas,
That could be a wreck too.
At 190, it could be interesting. One's misfortune is the good fortune of who knows who.
And pace car is
Powerball,
off.
play the Powerball.
Who will it be? 28, 6, 96, 303, or someone that we haven't really even thought of? We're gonna know in about 9 laps, Milty.
Uh,
Now, talk about these cars getting up to speed as compared to, let's say, the Cup cars.
well, you're talking about 700 horsepower versus 850. So, but the thing is the Cup cars got the restrictor plate, so it's not much different. And instead, you can rev these up to 8,500 uh, and go through the gears. Where Cup car, it's like 5,500, and you got to shift or you hit the rev limiter with the plate.
Alright, so these cars looking to get up to speed. We see Ed at already over 190 miles an hour, lap 1. So these cars
It's
get up to speed quite nicely. And yeah, we can see Ed using that, we'll call middle lane. And Mark right behind him, Chad right there. And Ken Ron now dipping to the inside, and now an inside line trying to form. And Matt Watkins really wants to make that inside line work. He's just not getting any takers.
I don't think if he gets out front, I think he's going to stall him out. He's got damage. He's got to have damage. Not much, but a little bit is a lot at this speed, and he's okay with that group. But these undamaged cars out here, Chad Stallman needs to be. I mean, man, P3 right now. What am I going to do?
Well,
You're
I think
almost hoping. You're almost hoping because he's up on the 18 now. Ken Ron, he's working that inside line.
yeah, he is.
Is Piccolo going to go down? If Piccolo goes down, then they're all looking in their mirror all the way down the straightaway.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look. Okay, apex. Now you make sure you hit your
Yeah,
marks.
and we know that the Martino and Watkins are teammates. Martino working that up
And they're
high
getting
line,
closer.
and now they're side by side.
Piccolo's going to be thinking right now, what do I do? I got to go down. I got to go down. He can't
Oh,
now.
he couldn't do it. And he tried and he got
I know.
punted away.
I know.
And we stay green though, Milty. We are staying green.
Come on, let's get a green flag finish here.
So that was our first gamble of this final laps, Milty, and Gary came up snake eyes on that one.
It's just snooze you lose. I did the same thing against Matt Watkins last week, and I was too late.
And we got more contact.
Ed
Ed and Shad.
Hey, these leaders want to see this because they're not sure if they can make it.
And then pace car's out, so they're gonna race to the line. And Ed has won the race to the line.
Chad.
Mark Desenza second, Chad third, Ken Ron fourth, Matt Watkins fifth.
I think
And
this could be it right here.
We got
I think it's over.
5 laps to go, so it's gonna be dicey.
Will we get the one to go or not? Obviously,
We might
you
get a
stay
1-lap
out.
dash, Milty. It's possible we could get a 1-lap dash here.
The 28 is already down low. Matt Watkins, I don't know.
In
I
the
think
grass.
He had to grab his beer there. No harm, no foul. He does that kind of stuff, and then he wins. Does that stuff right in front of you, and you're like, "What?" I think he's just bored right now. You know.
Yeah, coming from 37th to 5th right now, Matt Watkins, still not satisfied.
And he's beat up. I believe. I think that.
Yeah, we have to think that he did take some damage. Could it be repairable? Certainly. But the car is never 100% once it's repaired, Multi. And in plate racing, you would think it would be too detrimental to actually win the race. but he's doing everything he can. He's up into fifth. So
This is a fine run for the 303 of Ken Ron. Uh, just really quietly just ran his race and missed the wrecks and did what you have to do to get. Uh, and he made a great move there down and getting down on the bottom there.
yeah, he had the
Man,
run, and Gary saw that train coming, and just like you said, Milty, the split-second decisions that are necessary. He hesitated for that split second before he made the commitment, and that was just too late.
and uh, speaking from the cockpit, at the time it happened to me last week, I was like, I couldn't process it until I looked at the replay and then thought about my memory. And then it all kind of came together. When you're looking out the front windshield and the rear view mirror, those decisions. Ken Ron was, he had his foot through the floorboard, and that's all you can do. Can't really,
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't wreck yourself to avoid, someone trying to make a move that I'm sure Ken saw that he was going to be way too late going down, but if Ken lifts
too
there,
late.
he
You
could get
can't.
stacked up.
Yeah, and you can't even think that fast. It was like, it's right as we were calling it, it was happening. So it was like, that doesn't happen all the time, but you can smell it. It
Yeah,
was
and plate
win time.
you can sense it in plate racing a little more than regular racing. But yeah, you can see that line was just picking up a few feet every second or so. They picked up just a little bit, and finally, it got to a point where the outside guys thought that might be the way to go, and Gary tried to make that move. Now, if Gary made that move, who knows? That might have slungshot him right to the lead.
Matt Watkins on the scanner was saying, please let them lights stay on. So obviously he likes his track position. Looks like he's going to be racing this series for a championship. So a top five is exactly what he needs with a beat up
All right,
piece.
and we're on lap
Not to
78.
mention,
So if the lights go out this next time, Milty, we might get one lap.
well,
The lights
obviously
stay
we
on,
sure
I
like to
think
see
we're
that.
done.
Yep. Unfortunate for Ed Finley, he gets caught up at the end there. But solid race, man. He should hit the pedal tonight. That was the best run I've had in a long
Oh,
time.
absolutely nothing to be ashamed of if you're Ed. Still on the lead lap, maybe beat up a little now, but nonetheless, lead lap finish of a
Could
36
have
car
had a top
field.
five there.
I mean, if someone told me personally, you'll finish on the lead lap of a 36 car field, I would say I don't even care if I'm the last car on the lead lap. I'll take it.
Well, the boss chimed in there. I'd like to grab the green flag myself, so we could have one more lap to finish this fantastic race. But
We'll see here, Milty, as we pace car dives into turn
uh,
3.
admin chatted if you run out of fuel, stay low. So we all know the situation right here. They can run out under caution. It's that close. The excitement is not over yet. The great Yogi Berra, it's not over till it's over. Or, Junior Johnson might have said, hurry up and load up that moonshine so I can get out of here.
We got a great view here of the start finish line, the flag stand. We'll see if those lights go out on the pace car, Milty. And they do. I believe we have lights out, Milty.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
The lights are out on this pace car, Milty, and we're gonna have a green-white checker finish.
Well, Well, it's because it was still 5 laps to go when the caution came out,
That's right.
and if it's 4 laps to go, you're done.
You're
But
done. That's correct. And
it's
wow,
what can
Bilty,
you
this
do
changes
here?
everything for Ed. Now, if you're Ed Kerstetter, what's going through your mind now with the one lap dash for cash?
Well, it's not about if you can lead the lap for a lap. Everybody's going to be Kerstetter's going to have a good start unless you blow your start. But the
And
thing is, do you have enough fuel to race hard for
that,
that
and
lap?
also, Milty, let's remind viewers who may not be familiar with FSB, there's no passing to the backstretch here. Even though there's only a one lap dash, rules are rules, and that is a very
Yep.
firm rule. And of course, I know our
Yeah, yeah,
admin
yeah.
for the series, the boss man, is going to certainly review this final restart to see if anyone would take it a little nip at the inside line here. So if you're Ed, you know that when you come out of two, you're going to be the leader for sure.
Unless you blow a gear or miss a
Or
shift or
bad, right?
blow a gear and you're way off the pace and the cars have to avoid you, that is an admin um, reviewable situation. Otherwise, it's cut and dry.
Well, the pace
Absolutely.
car is about to go off, Milty, and we are going to have one more lap here to decide everything.
Oh boy.
And green
They,
flag is out.
they have to do something now. They have to go down now and bail. Bail right now. Don't stay in line.
Well,
Bail
no passing to the backstretch though, Milty, so you got to be careful here.
but you can still bail right now and keep your position. You gotta go.
And here we go as they come out
Matt
of
Watkins
two.
is trying to get him to go. Come on, come on. But he needs that draft, so he's got to get back up there.
And they're dicing it up at the front, and
Chris,
Mark
there's
DeSenza trying to make a
contact with the
move.
6.
Mark tried to make a low move there, and Ed, and now inside of 2 laps, blocking is not considered a foul, so Ed can
Caution is out.
use up, and we'll race to the line.
This is the race. He's
And Ed's
sideways.
staying in front, and Chad and Ken Ron.
3 wide. It's Chad Stallman on
And
the inside. I
it's a
think he got
dead.
P3.
It was a dead heat between Ken Ron and
It's
Chad
Ken
Stallman,
Ron.
and it gave it to Ken Ron. Matt Watkins still stayed in fifth.
The exact same time. 0.15.
Yep, they crossed the line right at the same time there, Milty, and they gave the nod
No,
to Ken Ron.
we got to get a picture of that. Rewind that and let's see. I want to see those 2 cars crossing the start-finish line.
Yeah, before this thing goes away on me, let's see if we can. There we got Chad's car, so let's back that up to the final finish here.
What view would you look at to see that?
Yeah, I think
TV1
should be the view here.
What a great race.
And there it is, Ken Ron just nipping him by a restrictor plate.
That's all you need.
And there's our photo finish there, Melty.
Yeah, my Twitch is twitching here, so I can't see it. I'm gonna look at it.
That's an awesome finish there. And then as we continue on, we see Matt Watkins finishing fifth there.
Okay, now I'm watching it on my replay.
And our winner is someone we're
Wow. Yep.
starting
There's
to know, the
Ken
28
Ron,
car.
about 2 inches, maybe less. It was that. you could see it's like watching the NFL. You know, is your foot on the line or not? It was that close.
All right,
Wow.
Milty. Wow, what a finish. What a finish. So there's our field, Milty. It's hard to go through this whole wild field. 36 cars started. 19 still finished on the lead lap. Uh,
I wanna hear if Kerstetter was gonna make it if we didn't have that caution.
yeah, there was some fuel strategy going on. Late caution, one lap dash for cash. 28 car covered them all. Mark DeSenza got racy there. Looked like he had a glimmer of an inside line there, but Ed shut it down quickly. And then in the scramble, he was just able to keep them out in front. Ken Ron with a great run, as you said, quiet all race, and then battling almost
Fantastic.
for the win there at the end, and just nipping Chad Stallman by 1 point. What was that? 2 thousandths of a second. Matt Watkins beat up, starting in 36th position or
That's a
so.
win-win for him.
Fifth place, Ryan Johnson with a great run. I think Ryan had some issues early
Yeah,
on. He
early on.
battled
Yeah.
back. Mike Sanders with a great run. He got up there in the top five and then settled in nicely in the top 10. Takes it home seventh.
It was those caution stops, man. It, in these races, you gotta execute every single move, man. One little
And
caution or green flag stop, whatever. In this league, you
yeah,
gotta be perfect.
solid finish for the '07. A top 10 for Ken Soska. Ken really,
Excellent.
he
That's
was.
another neat dude. That's just so cool, and to see him get a finish here on Friday night in the top 10, that's excellent for
And there's our
Doska Saska.
uh, there's our pal F Jerry with the top 10. How about that, Milty? Jerry coming back to the league. Select series here, and he puts out a top 10. And how about some shout outs here to the Possum Hollow gang, Milty? The 24, Greg Razor in 11th, and Monty bringing it home in 13th. So two top 15s for the Possum Hollow boys. That's pretty solid.
Absolutely, and just another cool group, and to see him show up on Friday night and run top 15, 37 car field, pretty awesome.
Yeah, very awesome. And then some of our regulars, Steve Weber, our series champion, did not fare too well, Milty. Some damage back in 15th. Martino was up there. He got involved late and faded
you're,
back.
you- you're 3 seconds and 3.37 seconds off, and you're 15th.
That's the way it goes, Milty. That's the way it goes, Milty. So that's our. Fortunately, the server is shutting us down real quick here. See if you can grab some people here, Milty.
um, I can't on this team speak
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're gonna have
because
to.
we're guests here. We do have Ed Kerstetter, your winner, who thank goodness allowed us to use his team
Yeah,
speak tonight.
absolutely. Yeah, and it looks like he's
So,
jumped in here.
what's up, Ed? There, teammate, another
Congratulations, Ed.
win.
Great win. Great win.
Hey, fellas, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, thank
So,
you,
did you
thank
have?
you.
Let's bottom line it here, Ed. Did you have enough gas without the caution?
No, no. If it wasn't for the two yellow, or let's see, when we restarted with 22 to go, I didn't have enough fuel. I was going to be about 2 laps short, and so that second to last caution made it doable. And then that third to last caution, I definitely didn't want to see.
Well, were you listening to the broadcast? Because I was going, man, he needs to get his ass down on the bottom over there. The next caution you did, I was like, just wondering if you heard me or if you just figured that out.
I heard you in spirit.
Just
I
lie to
actually
him, Ed.
listened to
Just
this
lie
one.
to him, Ed, and tell him that his advice was worthwhile.
Not that I should be giving you advice, because pretty much in our team channel, you're Okay, so what do you need on this corner, Mel? So, so that was an awesome win. Exciting race. You had
Yeah,
battles there early, but basically, when you keep it out front there, you pretty much avoid the carnage behind you.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, what do we have? 36 cars take the green flag, and
36. Yeah.
we went a whole green flag pit stop, which is crazy with that many cars in the field. So definitely great racing with everybody, and it got a little tight there a couple times, but both lines were pretty even, and it just came down to who could push who better, right? Who could be the closest to the car in front of them without wrecking. Um, so yeah, hopefully we put on a good broadcast.
Yeah, it
Well,
was some
yeah.
great battles there. Talk about that last little run in there with Mark as he shot down to the inside there.
Yeah, we were laughing about it after the race. Mark and I race together a bunch, and pretty much every night we're racing together in the same series. So we kind of get to learn what or we think we know what the other person's gonna do. And I kind of guessed right. I thought he was gonna do a double move, and I think he had a chance to stick the nose in a little bit. So I think he cut me a little bit of slack. Before I was able to get down to that yellow line. But it's always great racing with Mark.
Yeah, it
Well,
looked like
I
he
don't
had a
know if
little
he,
bit there for you.
I don't know if he got in the back of you or if somebody got in the back of him, because he got sideways like twice that last lap.
Yeah, I definitely saw him get sideways coming out of four. I think he was fighting for third or second and third with Chad. So I know there was contact there, and yeah, I'm not sure about before though.
Yeah, it was a great win, Ed, and yeah, it's always nice to obviously win the race, but when you win one with a big field like that, it's always a little more rewarding, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, 36 cars makes it so tough because you can't gamble as much. You know, that last caution or that third to last caution when everybody pit, if it was like 15 cars, no brainer, right? You pit, but because there's so many, it really changes strategy up and
Hmm.
makes it a little closer to real life. So it adds a lot of realism to it, just like these broadcasts do too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was what we were talking about. So many cars on the lead lap there. If you do pit and no one else does, you go from first to 24th, and that might just be too much ground to make up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you had some cars that were damaged, and you're not going to get 36 cars to do a restart without someone either missing a gear or getting into somebody or getting into the wall. And especially with the no passing on the back stretch rule, you just kind of you got to stay in line, right, and take it. So it's much more of a gamble.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ed, great win, and we appreciate you loaning us the use of your TeamSpeak channel. It really saved the broadcast because it was going to be a little too garbled on that other channel. So we appreciate that, and congratulations on the win.
Thanks, appreciate it, and yeah, thank you guys. I mean, that's the least I could do. You guys sacrifice racing, on the nights you broadcast, and I know that's got to be tough. So thank you very much for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Yeah, because I got real close to you for about a half a lap there last week, but that was good enough, because that was a fun race. Every race is fun, and we enjoy broadcasting it and bringing it, to everybody. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's just for me, I would be 35th in this race anyway, so might as well broadcast it. All right, Milty. So let's wrap it up here.
this will be on YouTube later,
Yeah,
and
it'll
and
be
also
available on
rebroadcast
Twitch.
on Twitch right away.
Yeah, it'll
So
be available on Twitch right away. It'll be uploaded to YouTube for anyone who's not able to get Twitch. I know some people with Apple have some problems with Twitch sometimes, so we put it on YouTube for everyone to enjoy, and we'll look forward to our next broadcast, Milty. And of course, we'll try to do as many as possible, of course.
yeah, every week is all depends on life, work, and the grace of God that we're still alive. So
Amen to that, brother. And Let's talk about some other stuff real quickly, Milty, on the league. FSBRacing.com is the league. We got racing every night. Pro Cup, FSB Cup. We got the Grand Nationals. We got, of course, the Great Winston Cup Series here that we run. We got trucks on Thursday nights. We got a bunch of stuff, Milty. GTP.
Yeah, we got the 2.4 hours of Le Mans this Sunday, which me and Ed
Daytona.
of Daytona, excuse me, and me and Ed, we're still working on some team setups here. Fortunately, I got tomorrow off, Ed, so let's do some GTP testing for Sunday, and then we have the week later we have the 24 hours of iRacing Daytona, and we're looking to probably field 2 cars. We need a couple more drivers, Ed,
Hint, hint.
and it's an epic deal. You got to work some things around in your life with your wife, so or your significant other, so they don't kill you.
Yeah, that's true. And,
So
I
you're
just
gonna have to put the trash out and that, but for 24 hours, you're basically you're getting some sleep, and it's very exciting. And also the regular stuff, FSBRacing.com. NASCAR 2003 is running strong, but we are moving to the next level with iRacing. So come aboard either way. You want to do just iRacing, do that. You want to do both, do that. You want to do one or the other, do that. Or
absolutely
you want to
Milty.
do GTP.
Do that. Absolutely. So I'll log on off here, Milty. Great job as always, and
Thank you, sir.
we look forward to seeing you our next broadcast. FSBRacing.com.